right, hello and welcome to the Female Perspective podcast. I am one of your hosts, Carson Devitt.
And I'm your other host, Izzy.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about why we decided to change from a radio show to a podcast?
Yeah, so pretty much while we were doing the radio show, we realized that we really like to talk. And we thought a podcast would be a perfect change of scenery.
And we want to use like a YouTube channel, obviously that's what you're watching this on, to like show our faces more so you get to know a little bit more about us rather than just hearing our voices and then listening to like random music that we play. Also, I really apologize about this harsh lighting as well as this main video. It's not the best. We have our little setup going on, but we're trying. This is our first episode, guys. Give us some slack.
We have a 3-camera system and it's like really tripping. You can see my balding.
You can see your big forehead.
You can
Get
see
your forehead out of here.
You can see my dandruff.
Pull your mic back, girl.
I need my head and shoulders. Okay. Wait, you can still see my forehead. Wait. Okay.
All right. We're just going to roll with this. All right. First up, we're going to tell you guys a little bit about ourselves just so you know who we are. Izzy, would you like to go first?
Yes. My full name is Isabella, and I am a senior at Shippensburg University, as is Carson.
Correct.
And I'm a marketing major, and I have a concentration in data analytics.
And what do you plan to do with your major?
I recently landed a career.
Woo!
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm working at WebFX in July, so I'm really excited. I chose the junior account manager position, so I'm excited.
All right. I'm also a senior, as Izzy gave away. I don't have a full-time job. I do have an internship though at a news station, so I'm working on my future. I'm about to graduate in May. And I'll tell you a little bit about my hobbies. I really enjoy. What are you looking at?
Carson's screaming. Is that not
Sorry,
loud?
guys. No, it's not. It's yellow. We're fine.
Okay.
Okay. I really enjoy cats. Like, I love cats so much. Like, they are one of my favorite animals. I like to go to the gym a lot, so I'll probably talk a lot about the gym here. I like to ski. I haven't been out in a while because it's so expensive, and, you know, your girl's on a budget. And also I like to film, and so that's why I have 2 cameras. And I don't have any audio equipment, so we are using our Shippensburg University podcast room.
You're not wearing... No, you are wearing Show the Ship merch.
All right, guys.
She's gonna get naked. She's a mother.
I am a Shippensburg mom.
A cat mother.
Well, so funny story. I saw this in the bookstore, and I was like, I'm going to buy this for my mom. Like, it's cute. And I give it to her. And then, let's just say like a month ago, she decided to go through her closet and get rid of her clothes. And she's like, you can have any of it that you want. And I see this shirt that I bought for her that she wore one time in there. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my money's worth. And so now I'm wearing it.
My parents always wear their merch that I gift them. It was collecting dust, probably.
It probably was, but whatever. We have a few questions prepared, by the way.
Yes.
So we're going to start answering some of those. This podcast is going to try and be a little bit more about college and like how to prepare for it and like what to expect. So we're currently at 4 minutes. Let's get this going.
We have a lot of time. Well, first, I wanted to hear your take on why we started the podcast. Like, what about, like, filming do you enjoy?
I'm not one to sit down and do a podcast, but I saw a lot of people on TikTok were doing them, and I feel like every time that we hang out, I feel like we are very funny people. Like, I laugh every time. To a niche audience, yes. Like your big forehead in my camera, like that's funny.
And it won't go away.
No. I feel like we could okay, I'm going all over the place right now. I love talking to people. I'm a communications major, so that makes sense. And I like filming, so I was like, why don't I take our radio show and just turn it into a podcast, it gives us more freedom and we can talk about anything we want and put it on YouTube and just do it for fun, basically.
Yeah. I enjoy that.
Why do you like data analytics?
Okay. Actually, I'm not going to talk about that. I like data analytics because I like to look at trends in data, which I found interesting. Like previously, so if you know me, I'm a very artsy and creative person, which was why I was scared to go into analytics, because I was like, I feel like that's going to strip me from my creativity. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does, yeah. Because data's like numbers.
Yeah. And I was like, I feel like that's the most least creative thing I could have ever chose to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that you can find creativity even whenever you're doing something so just based on numbers and like not
straightforward.
Yeah. So I realized that I liked looking at trends, and especially in social media, because I had an internship and my gig was kind of to look at trends in social media to help sponsors know if the content's relevant.
Look at you, social media girly.
Yeah. But whenever I chose my career, I didn't want to do social media, which is kind of opposite of what.
Why are you like?
You should have seen me in my interview process. I think I was the least casual person there. Whenever I was getting interviewed, I was like, because
you did that while you were getting interviewed?
Yes. Well, my hands were so sweaty because I was so nervous, and I was like up on the table with my hands like this. But then occasionally I'd like touch my face and like go like. I just like to have expressions when I'm talking.
Oh my. See, okay, so I am also into news. Like, that's kind of like what I want to do. And so when I do the news, like my first semester being like on air, I would always sit like this. Hi, I'm Carson. Welcome to SUT.
She's a robot.
Like, I literally just had my hands always in the same spot, and it looked so stupid because it had no animation to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why, like, when I'm in the interview process now, I know I can like relax, move my hands, and it gives you like a character, like a flow.
Yeah. And I feel like whenever your hands are like cemented on the table, it makes you so much more nervous and more clammy, because then you're just focusing on like
clam chowder.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said yes. Sure. Okay. What's the next question?
Well, we didn't even get into the questions yet.
Oh, all right.
So my first question for you is, what made you feel most connected to campus?
Honestly, it wasn't. So I came in freshman year. We both came in at the same time during COVID. So we didn't have, like, anything to do on campus. Like, when I tell you it looked like campus was a ghost town, campus was a ghost town.
It was bad.
It was really bad. And so the only friends I had was the random roommates that I had, and we'll probably talk about roommates and stuff like in another video because there's just a lot to say. But my sophomore year is when I started getting connected to SUTV, and then my junior year I got involved in a business frat, and so I just started meeting all these different people. And so being a part of the clubs and having all of these different friends and connections on campus is what made me feel like I like belonged here and like made the right choice to come to Shippensburg as a Shippensburg mom. I'm also not a mom, just to clarify. I am 21 years old, thank you. Everyone's like, she looks like she's 12, she's not 21.
You can be a mom at 21.
No, I could, but I'm not. I'm just clarifying that.
Okay, she doesn't have children.
No. I wish I did, but what was the question? I want you to answer it now.
What made me feel most connected to campus?
Yeah.
I would say I agree with you that I feel like joining clubs is the most beneficial way to get connected to campus. I worked as a peer anchor on campus, which is kind of like the role is helping incoming freshmen get connected to campus and also get a sense for campus life and how to operate in a new environment. And what I learned is that a lot of it can kind of, I don't really know how to describe it, but it can almost be embarrassing to first join something, just because a lot of the time whenever you're a freshman, you don't usually come with people that you already know, so you're kind of vulnerable and you have to be put in a new environment by yourself. And a lot of freshmen were hesitant to join clubs because it was such a vulnerable thing to go into right away. But I feel like a lot of clubs, especially here, are really welcoming.
Yep.
So
They are. They definitely are.
It's definitely my best piece of advice, because you just have to find something that you like, whether it's like art, music, film.
There's like over like 300 different possible clubs that you could be a part
Yeah.
of. So just show up and put yourself out there.
Yeah. And what's your biggest piece of advice?
Mine has nothing to do with like putting yourself out there. Mine has to do with like the motto my mother instilled in me since I was like born is work first, then play. You're gonna be tempted, especially in like the later half of your years at college, to like go out with your friends or to go to like breakfast bingo at like 11 o'clock at night to win an iPad. My roommate did, by the way. But
She was a winner.
yeah, she was. You need to make sure that you get your work done, because the work will just keep piling up, especially if you're taking 5 or 6 classes. And there's like a lot of times like, oh, you'll forget to do a discussion post, and then boom, you lose 5 points. And discussion posts take sometimes like only 10 minutes. And so just knock out like the easy stuff, get it done, and then go out and have fun. And you'll thank yourself in the long run because you have everything done ahead of time. And it just feels so much better to have like a lot off of your mind and a lot off of your plate. And then your weekends are free to just hang out with your friends, and you don't have to sit around and do homework and write essays. So work first, then play.
That's good advice.
Yeah, I still need to work on taking that, but I'm getting there.
I feel like you work very hard, so I feel like you take your advice to heart.
I do. I try. Okay, what's your biggest piece of advice for incoming college students
Oh, okay.
besides the clubs piece that you talked about?
My biggest piece of advice would be to get out of your comfort zone, which is like kind of what we were talking about earlier. The only reason I say that, which I talked about this in my interview whenever I was getting my job a lot, because deep down, I'm a very introverted person. So I feel like if other people who are introverted, it's relatable, I guess. Because I feel like you're more extroverted for sure.
Yes, I agree.
But when you come to college introverted, I obviously knew Carson from high school. So I already had someone I could talk to that was someone that I knew before. But like meeting new people, I feel like the best piece of advice for incoming freshmen is to get out of your comfort zone in any way possible. Joining clubs goes into that just to kind of meet new people. But also I think another piece of advice is to take every opportunity that you're given. I know that in college you're given a lot of different opportunities, whether it's like my peer anchor job was an opportunity that I was given from my University 101 professor. And
I personally never would have taken that if that was me. But obviously
but
it's taught her a lot.
important.
Yeah, and it's important. So yes, going out of your comfort zone for the peer anchor position was a good idea. I wouldn't have done that, but she did, and it's helpful.
Yeah. And there's a lot of different ways that you can get out of your comfort zone. So I feel like taking at and grasping opportunities is one of them, but there's a lot of different ways to go about it.
And you're never going to meet new people if you only stay in your dorm room, if you only talk to the same people from high school. Like, you have a rare opportunity. At least at Shippensburg, there's like 6,000 students, maybe more, because our new freshman class is massive.
Yeah, it's
But like, yes, you might not like be best friends with all the people that you talk to, but like you'll learn about networking and stuff in college if you haven't in high school. And like people know people who know people, and so like you're just growing your network to do things like a podcast, or like the one guy on my other YouTube channel, Carson Devitt, by the way, plugging it. The one guy and I, Fred, him and I went around campus, and we would talk to like a man on the street. We would talk to students and like ask them questions. And like, had I not met Fred and talked to him at SUTV, I never would have been able to create that content. So it's like, don't burn your bridges, and make sure that you're like networking and putting yourself out there. I feel like this all ties together so well. We're so good at this.
And also another thing that goes into that for me is another way that I thought of while you were talking about that to get out of your comfort zone is to talk to people in your class. I feel like a lot of the time that can be super scary. Like, especially for me, I always had trouble like sitting next to people and being like, hey, I'm like, no, but oh my gosh.
Here we go. Story time.
A story time. This isn't a personal story. Also, sorry if I feel like I sound so nasally right now, but I need to blow my nose.
Are you going to do that right now?
No. But, basically, my freshman year, like my first business like core classes that I had to take, this is more of after COVID because that's whenever we had classes in person. Everyone in my business classes would go around like to each other and would introduce themselves with like their major and like
Without
it was
being
crazy.
told.
Yeah, without being told. Like you would walk in and you would just sit down. I would always find a group of girls and just be like, I'm sitting myself down right here.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say.
I need to take a seat.
Where you choose to sit on your first day of class is most likely where you're going to be sitting for the rest of the class. If you
100%.
If you choose to sit next to, like, as a girl, you choose to sit next to all these guys, and there's no girls around you, and then your professor's like, oh, group project time.
Oh
and
my
you're,
gosh.
like, where you choose to sit is where you're going to be. So my tactic is, if you're super specific, like I need to sit in the front, I need to be able to see, then get there early and get the seat. But my tactic is you show up like 6 minutes before class starts. That way you can like look around, especially senior year, see where your friends are, and then sit next to them. That way you're not like showing up late, sitting with randoms. Then you change your spot, take someone else's seat. Like, it's like the psychology, like humans are very habitual, and so like where you pick a spot, that's where you stay.
And if on the first day, if like you pick a faulty seat, like you're stuck there. Like I've done that multiple times in my gen ed classes that I picked a really bad seat and I had to stay.
But also just having like random people sit next to you and then they say hi. Like I've met a lot of like random friends that I probably never would have talked to if they didn't sit next to me. So yeah. Put yourself out there, I guess. Classroom as well, not just like on campus. Introduce yourself, say hi. You're going to need friends because there's going to be times where you like maybe miss class and you're like, shoot, like the professor won't tell me what I missed, and you can just like message your friend or like ask about a project. So like,
do you feel like there was a lot of group projects your like lower years of college?
There was a few. I feel like I've honestly seen more in the last 2 years.
Because I didn't notice group projects until like recently, until junior year.
Maybe
I feel like I didn't have any.
Well, okay, so you're in business and I'm in communications. I just had my class and the teacher, like, the main thing that they stress is like, oh, well, once you get into the professional world, like, you're going to be working with a bunch of other people, so you need to learn how to do it now. Like, that's their excuse for doing group projects. And yes, I like group projects, but there is always, and I mean always, in every single group, there is always one person that does not pull their weight.
It's true.
Every group.
And it's funny because the professors will like straight up address it and be like, I know someone here is not going to do their work, so like just come to me.
But they still do it. I actually one of my projects, my group and I had to write this like I don't even remember how long it was. It was like a 15-page paper, and the one kid the kid that was in our class, he didn't ever show up to class. Like he showed up to class like 1 out of every 5 times we had class. Like I barely even knew this kid, and he sat right in front of our group. Like our groups were where we sat also. So another point to like make sure you sit somewhere smart. And so we had to like as a group kick him out because he didn't show up to our original meeting when we planned everything for the paper. He's also never been to class, so we didn't even know what he was writing about. And so we had to go to the teacher, and he got moved to another group.
How did you go about kicking him out?
Well, it wasn't the other girls in my group were like, he needs to go. He needs to get out of here. And I was like, yeah. And so one of them just like wrote an email, and then the teacher was like, okay, he's out. And so then it was just like 4 of us. We got an A on the paper though, so.
This was one of my interview questions, not for this job, but for another interview.
How many interviews have you been in? Oh my gosh.
I got that experience. What kind of person are you in a group project? Speaking of. Like
that's a good question.
Are you the organizer? Are you the planner person? Or are you like the leader?
If it's communications, like I have like a video project or something, like I had a 30-minute broadcast that I had to do, I was literally in class as the teacher was giving the assignment, typing up stuff, assigning stuff, like
So you're like the person who assigns
I'm
everyone's
the
role.
organizer, I'm the leader, and then I'm like, all right, are you cool if you do this, you do this, you do that? Because usually I know everybody's strengths and weaknesses by that point. And then if they're
Okay.
like, usually they're just like, yeah, sure, I don't care. And then I'm like, okay, well, if you don't like that, then, like, I make sure that everything in the project is assigned, so that way it gets done. Because if it's not
Yeah.
assigned, there's lazy people, and they're not going to do it.
Yeah, and then you can hold them accountable if it's assigned to them. But I feel like in my group projects, a lot of the time, we pick our own role. Because we don't know each other that well, you know?
Yeah, business is like a much wider group. Like in especially in communications at Shippensburg, if you guys do communications, you will see the same people in your classes like for 4 years. You'll see the same professors. Like by the end of like your senior year, every time you go into a class, you're gonna know at least like 5 people, 6 people. So
That's
again,
crazy.
don't burn your bridges. That just all of it comes full circle.
Yeah. But I really like that question, though. Whenever someone asked me that in an interview,
That's
I was
good.
like, wait, I've never even thought about who I am.
Wait, so who are you then?
I'm the one who organizes the meetings.
Mm.
I'm the one who's like, okay, we're meeting this day, right? And then I'm the only one who
Right,
shows
question
up.
mark.
I'm the only one who shows up to
That was
the
like your group
meeting.
project last
like,
semester.
hello.
Hello.
Hello. I've had many times where I'm the only one that comes.
That's so annoying. And it's not like you
Yeah.
like live on campus. Oh, so you can just walk back to your dorm. No. Like
Like, I have to drive
people
to my
live off
apartment.
campus, yeah.
Yeah. It was a whole task, and I can't. Anyway, I have another question for you. I feel like you already answered that, but
You got to talk in the microphone, girl.
sorry, I'm really nasally right now. Okay, this is more of like a deeper question. What was
Pitch it.
your biggest challenge that you faced in college, and how have you overcome it? Or how did you overcome it? It could be in academics, it could be like a personal challenge that you had. It could be like any
I feel
aspect.
like I need to have like some super like
No, it could be something so small. Like any challenge. It doesn't have to
Okay.
be like something like
Alright.
insane.
any challenge. Let's
Yeah.
go with all right, a lot of this is confidential and I don't want to get in trouble, but my fraternity, we had to rush, and you get certain positions when you're in the rushing process. And again, this goes back to the group project where I was kind of doing a lot of the work for my position, because there's co-chairs obviously with every fraternity, sorority, whatever. And my co-chair was just not helping out, wasn't doing anything, and I had to
No co.
I had to run around campus doing all of the work for this specific assignment. And when I tell you, like, there was like 20 of us, and I had to fit in every single person's schedule within a week and then compile all of the stuff that I found for this project. Like, imagine trying to fit in 20 different people's schedules to meet up with each person individually and coordinate all of it.
Yeah, that's
like,
a lot.
without saying what the assignment was. Like, it was horrible. But it turned out good, and everybody liked it, so
How did you overcome it?
I just sucked it up and I did it.
Oh, wow.
It needed to be done, and so work first, then play. I got it done. I made it work. I also was a little harsh. I was like, you need to be with me or you will not be in this. There were some people we didn't even realize they weren't even in the project because they never met up with me, and no one realized until it was like submitted. But that person ended up dropping out anyway, so it didn't matter, like, of school completely. So
Oh.
yeah. What was your biggest challenge?
I would say... Sorry, I'm trying to move my mic so that I'm not in... my forehead's not in Carson's shot.
Yeah, let's do that halfway through the broadcast. Oh, my camera turned off. Can you hit the...
My biggest challenge. I would say my biggest challenge has been learning to be more organized. I think I've always been really organized, but especially when it comes to having 5 classes at once, like, you need to have your stuff in order. And if you don't, then you're going to miss things. Like, I have a story time. So I don't even know which semester this was. I had blacked out during it because I was so stressed. But during one of my semesters, I had a math class. I think it was calculus class, which already I'm like, I'm down. Like, this is not going to be fun. And I was like, I need to, because I had a tutor because I was struggling.
They do offer free tutors. Use them.
Yeah, and please use them or else you're going to struggle hard. But the exam was online. So I was like, okay, I can't miss this. Like, but at this point, I wasn't writing down when things were yet. Because I have like a whole sticky note thing on my computer, but I wasn't doing that yet. Like, this was a while ago.
Oh, yeah, stickies on the computer. If you have
Yeah.
a MacBook, or I think you can do them on Windows.
Mm-hmm.
Put stickies on your computer because while you're in class, you can write like your homework and stuff.
Yeah. But I had that exam. It was the midterm, actually. It wasn't an exam. It was the midterm. So it was like 20.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
And okay, I won't
Yeah.
spoil your story time. Go ahead.
It's already predictable. But it was worth like 20% of my grade. And I missed it. I literally missed it. I didn't take it that day. And I had a mental breakdown about it. And I was like, I need to get organized. Like, what am I doing? And then that's whenever I realized that I needed to do that. But anyway, I ended up working out because half the class. But yeah, that's the moment I realized that I needed to become more organized and not miss things. Half my class forgot to take it. So we all lucked out and we all got to take it. But it was crazy. So
Yeah,
that's my challenge.
I've missed my fair share of things because a lot of things for me were like I'd miss discussion posts, even though they were the same time due every single week. I'd miss them, and I pulled the
Hello, Professor. Hope you are doing well. I would just like to inform you that I
lost track of time and did not submit my discussion post, and then I put the famous line,
I take full responsibility.
and I would like to ask for the opportunity to do this discussion post again. And you can only use that line one time per teacher before
Yeah.
it's like, okay, they're beefing. They're
Yeah.
fluffing. And it works. So,
It does.
yeah.
We all have our challenges in college, especially. Can you name one more challenge? I feel like there's a lot.
The organizing one was good. Honestly, this is like a surprising one that I didn't think would be that hard is staying in touch with my family. Like for me, my grandparents, like they need a phone call like once a week, and not like hi, how are you, like a 5-minute phone call. Like this is like a 25-minute phone call. It's like set aside time in my day. And like there'll be days where I will leave my place at like 9 a.m. and I won't get back until like 8:30 at night. By that point, I'm exhausted and I just want to go to bed. And so like finding time to call my family to stay in touch is like, it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
You're like completely out of frame, girl.
I'm trying to not get my forehead in it.
But yeah, I stayed in touch really well with my mom though, because like we text all the time. She actually, my phone, hold on, let me read this text from my mom. She's so cute. She said, "Good morning, beautiful. I just wanted to say hi and I hope you have a great weekend. Love you."
Oh.
Shit, mom, for the win. She may not have worn my shirt and gave it away, but I love my mom, my biggest supporter. So stay in touch
Shirt with ease.
with your family. I lost most of my friends besides her in high school, so yeah. Well, I didn't really technically lose them. We just like drifted apart, you know. That just happened. So expect that as well.
Yeah.
But if you do maintain friendships from high school, make sure you stay in contact with them.
Mm-hmm.
Any last words before we close out the podcast?
I would say, for anyone who is going into college or is in college now, I think that a lot of the time it's easy to have clouded vision just because like you're stressed and it's a new experience and obviously like everything that you do is new. But with time, I feel like you learn kind of how to go about things and you can look back and reflect on it. But I would say my biggest thing is to not let stress overcome your experience. 'Cause it can be easy to be like, I'm so stressed, I need to like stay indoors and like not go out and like isolate.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you need to like, if you plan, the stress can go away to a degree. Any last words from you?
Definitely go to college. Pick somewhere that you like, not just where your friends are going. And get involved, stay organized, do your work first, then play. I'll preach on that all day. I just rhymed. Guys, I should just be a rapper.
No, she's a poet. No, you are a poet though.
I am not a poet. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what next week's podcast is going to be about, but I am already very excited. Hopefully we'll have a better setup, better quality, better microphone.
Yeah, we're thinking of relocating.
It's going to be a major upgrade, guys. Don't forget to follow. Is it subscribe? Don't forget to subscribe. Like, feel free to comment if you want us to do, like, any kind of special topics. And have a good day.
Yes, have a great day. And have a great weekend. Or
I don't know when this is uploaded,
Yeah.
but have a great week.
Whenever
Have a
that
great
is.
weekend. We will see you next week. Good night.
Thank you for listening. Good night.